Hi everybody, Yoga with Mary here. I hope you enjoy this 20-minute plus yoga practice. It's meant to bring flexibility to your body, bring a little oxygen in so that we can oxygenate, and also to relax you. And so make sure that you do it mindfully. And more importantly, make sure that you listen to your body. Namaste. So we're going to start just right down on our backs. So slowly lower yourself down onto the mat and just go ahead and sink that lower back down into the mat. Keep your knees bent at this point. Feet flat on the floor. Just let your knees come together. Maybe your feet are hip width apart. Bring your hands down to your sides with the palms up, facing the sky. Kind of lift your chest up and bring your shoulders down and just kind of rotate your pelvis a bit until it's in a neutral position. Lower back is down on the mat. And then at this point you can just close your eyes and just breathe normally. Just centering ourselves and getting ourselves ready for our practice. Just doing a little body scan. From the top of the head all the way down to the fingertips and to the toes. And then we're going to start that nice yogi breath. So we're going to breathe in through our nostrils. And we're going to bring that air all the way down and all that fresh oxygen all the way down into the lungs. And we're going to really expand and open up and bring all that oxygen into the lungs. We're going to feel our lungs expanding on all sides, creating some nice space. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to exhale all of that stale air out, every single drop of it out, so we get all that carbon dioxide out of our system. Before we start, again, inhaling through our nostrils. So you want to make sure that your inhale and exhale, are the same length. So you might want to count that, inhaling and exhaling, or even the exhale can be a little bit longer. Just breathing in and being mindful, paying attention to that deep yogi breath. And I want you to use that nice deep breath throughout this practice. Allowing that oxygen to come in and fill every single cell, going in through the bloodstream, reaching every cell and permeating those cellular membranes to bring that oxygen into your body and into your organs and your system for the nutrition it needs. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and lift up the left and the right foot and just bring those knees up towards your body. Nice stretch here. You can feel your spine lengthening a bit. And then put your hands on either of your knees and then just open those knees up nice and wide. We'll get a nice little stretch here in the pelvic floor. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next exhale, you can bring those legs back in. Drop that left foot down and take that right leg and cross it over the left, making sure that your right ankle is past that left upper thigh. Go ahead and tee your hands out into a T position with your palms up facing the sky. And then take that left to right foot and take the sole of that foot and drop it over to the left side of your mat. And you should feel a nice little stretch here on the right side. Just opening it up a bit, inhaling and exhaling. Just stay right here if you feel a nice stretch in your hip. Otherwise, lift that left leg up, interlace your fingers behind that left upper thigh, and bring that leg towards your body. So you're feeling now a nice stretch right here on the right side in that hip flexor and perhaps the glutes. You're just feeling a nice stretch. So as always in your yoga, you're listening to your body. And if you're feeling any type of sharp pains or anything like that, you always back off. If your breath is getting shallow, again, just back off of it. Get yourself back, that breath back, and then go back into the pose. And here we're just feeling that nice stretch. Inhaling and exhaling, and just think about bringing that oxygen all the way down into the right side of that hip. Shoulders are nice and flat on the mat. We're not working the shoulders. And then we're going to just drop down that leg. Uncross that right leg. Now, tee the hands out again. Let's take that left leg, cross it over the right, making sure that the ankle is past that upper thigh. And then slowly dropping that right sole of the foot down, or the left sole of the foot, sorry, down onto the right side. And then again, feeling the stretch. And I just want you to notice the differences between your left and right side. Just kind of be curious. Let your curiosity be piqued. Be a connoisseur of your own body. And you don't have to stay on that very long, and then bring it back up. And then now lift that right leg, interlace your fingers behind that right upper thigh, and then bring that leg towards your body. And you can even take this elbow here and press on that, just kind of press out on that, and you'll feel a deeper stretch now on the left side. You can also flex your ankles. That kind of tells you where you're at. This is a very nice stretch. I'm much tighter on my left, I can tell. I don't know why that is. Maybe because I'm left-handed. Just breathe into it. Just rock from right to left, massaging the back a bit, continuing with that nice deep breath. And then go ahead and cross your ankles, and then rock from from forward and back until you're in a seated position. Might feel good to do that on your back, so you can continue with that. And then we'll go ahead and get into our seated position. If you don't like to cross your legs, that's okay. You can put them right out in front of you. You can also get a pillow or a blanket and sit on that to raise your hips up as well, and that sometimes can help lengthen that back. So you want to make sure your spine is nice and long. Hands at your sides. we're just gonna really make sure that our shoulders are aligned here up with our hips. Our spine is nice and long, the back of our neck is nice and long, our chin is level. And then we're gonna take that right hand and bring it up and over and grab the left side of our head. And then we're gonna drop our right shoulder, or our right ear to our right shoulder. And then we're gonna slowly bring some pressure onto the side of the head so that we feel a nice stretch right here on the left side of the neck now. So you're just stretching that out, and you want to feel it, so you want to just work with it and make sure you're getting a nice stretch. We lose a lot of rotation in our neck as we get older, so we want to stretch that out so we're not just using our body to turn around, but we're actually using our neck muscles to turn our head. And then you can slowly loosen your grip. Now remember, you're continuing that yogi breath. And then you're going to look under that right underarm. And then you're going to put your hand right on the back of your skull. And then you're just going to apply a little bit of pressure now. And act like you're trying to put your forehead into that underarm. And you should feel it on the back of the left side of the neck now. You can always lower that left shoulder, and you'll feel which muscles you want to be giving that lengthening to. And slowly release your grip. Bring your head up nice and mindfully, nice and slow. You might be feeling a little bit of resistance there, maybe a little lightheaded. We can go ahead and do it on the opposite side. So take the left hand, grab the right side of the head, drop the left ear to the left shoulder, and then apply that pressure so you're feeling a nice stretch on the right now. And then just breathe into it. And again, noticing differences in the body. Nice deep breaths. Bring that oxygen now to that neck. Release some of that blocked energy. Slowly let go of your hand. Look under now that left arm, underarm. Grab your head and just gently pull out. Nice deep breaths. And then your next exhale, go ahead and release. Bring that hand down. And now go ahead and bring yourself into your table. So in our table, we're going to take our knees and make sure that they're directly below our hips. And we want to make sure they're hip width apart. So we make a fist, put it in between our knees, and that's about hip width apart. Then bring your hands down, spread your fingers nice and wide. Your index finger is forward to the top of the mat. Your wrists are stacked directly below your shoulders. So you're making nice lines here on your table. Your feet can either be tented or they can be, the tops of your feet can be flat on the floor. Then I like to lengthen my back, lengthen my neck, and then I start my cat-cows. So you can use your cat-cows any way you wish. I like to really bring my pelvis forward, tip it back, and then, so I'm tipping my tailbone forward, and then I exhale and bring it almost all the way back. So it's just a pelvic rotation in my cat-cow. I don't like to lift up my head and do a real strong movements in this because I think that this is better. This is a great thing to kind of, I like to think of it as oiling up the lower back, but we're just going to release some of that tension and blocked energy in that lower back. We worked on our hips, so now we're moving ourselves up into the lower back. And as you're doing these cat-cows, and you can always pause the video and do more if you like. This is a great movement for our lower back. And it's also a good movement for us to judge and see, are we letting our movement be part of the breath. So our breath starts the movement, helps you to be really mindful. Come back into our table. We're going to stay in that table. We're going to tent those back toes, and then we're going to lift our hips up for our downward dog. So now we're in a nice dog, and here you can just kind of move your hips around. You can pedal it out if you want. Just think about that collarbone and kind of expanding it, and don't let those shoulders, really kind of bring those shoulders towards your back. So it's kind of anti-gravity. This is an inversion pose. Lifting those hips up and keeping that spine nice and long. And then you're just going to walk your feet up towards your hands into a forward fold. So in your fold, most of your weight should be at the balls of your feet. Don't lock your knees. Make sure you're not locking your knees. And then just let your body fold here. Taking a couple nice deep breaths. We're going to generously bend our knees, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, we're going to come up and come to a nice standing position. All right? So in our standing position, we want to make sure, face the camera here, we want to make sure that our hips are hip width apart, and then we want to rock that pelvis until we feel like it's nice and even, so it's nice and long and our spine is nice and long. And then we'll be right here at the top of our mat, and we'll do a warrior two. So in warrior two, we're going to take that left leg at this point, and we're going to bring it back to the back of the mat, and we're going to have the foot parallel with the mat. And then our front foot here is pointed forward. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bend that right knee so that that right knee is directly below that right ankle. So we're going to make sure that we can see our toe, and we should be able to see our baby toe, but we should see our big toe. If we can't, we don't want to be like this because that's going to be bad for our knees. So your knee should be right level between your second and third toe there. Then this back leg, you want to make sure that the ankles are aligned, or this heel is forward or aligned with this heel. And then you can always bring that foot back if you want more of a lengthening. And then right here, kind of a guide is that your wrist should be directly below your ankles. That can be a guide for you of what you want to shoot for. And then with this foot, you want to have the outside edge of the foot digging into the mat, and then you'll feel that nice stretch right here. So both of the legs now in this are dynamic, and that's going to help us build that heat and build that strength in our legs so we're able to balance. And then once you have that, you feel that energy coming up, and then you feel the energy into your arms. So you bring your arms parallel with the mat. All of those fingertips are together. The thumb is nice and gently on palm of the hand. We look back here. We can always look. We're not a statue, and we're just going to breathe into it. We're going to let our shoulders drop. We're going to lengthen the back of that neck, and we're just going to breathe into this nice warrior two and find that warrior two, always making sure that our alignment is where it needs to be. Sometimes we can get misaligned, so you're always adjusting in your practice. Inhaling and exhaling. And now you can put your hands on your hips. Go ahead and bring those feet together. And then, now point, we'll do it on the opposite side. So point the left leg now towards the back of the mat. The right leg now is at a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to bend that knee again. Now I have to creep up, bring my feet wider apart. So I'm getting a really nice stretch. And then I can see my toe, that's good. My knee is lined up with my second and third. The right side of this foot is kissing the mat, so then I feel that nice stretch here in my hip. I lengthen, make sure that my spine is nice and long. Lengthen my spine, the back of my neck, and then I add my arms. And then I'm just floating my arms, feeling that energy, lengthening my collarbone, dropping my shoulders. Kind of feeling that energy going through all the way to your fingertips. So when you inhale, you want to inhale and bring that oxygen all the way to the fingertips, to the toes, to the crown of the head. And then on that exhale, you want to bring it back to center, back to the start. Inhale and exhale. Noticing the difference now between doing it on one side versus the other, and getting that strength. Being curious with your warrior two, and just feeling, okay, what am I feeling now? Am I starting to shake a little bit, maybe? And let's put our hands on our hips. Walk our feet back together. Lengthen our spine. And go ahead and bring those arms up, lengthen that collarbone, and now we're going to hinge from the hip. We're going to bring ourselves back down onto the mat. So we're going to hinge from the hips, and we're going to slowly lower ourselves down into a forward fold. And then come back into that downward dog. And drop the left knee to right knee. Slowly bring yourself over. And here you can have a longer Shavasana. You can do some meditation if you want. But we're just going to go ahead and gently lower ourselves down onto the mat. Bring those shoulders down. Lengthen the legs now. Or if your lower back is hurting you, you can keep your legs bent. Just let those feet fall where they may. Just open them up. Let your hands come back to your sides. Palms up towards the sky. And now just ground yourself with the earth. Going back to your normal breath. And at this point, you can pause the video and have however long relaxation you want. And then we'll slowly roll ourselves over, pick ourselves back up. From my heart to yours, Namaste.